Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a DMRVP review of the Legend X2 7'3" medium light extra fast rod. DMRVP is description meeting relevance, value, and purpose. Now in this video you're going to see an incredible description right down to the details of everything about this using slides. It's kind of long and boring, but it gives you everything you need to know about this particular rod and this particular rod line. But I'm also going to talk about relevance and meaning and how we can apply this rod to your needs based on what I think about the rod as given my needs. I bought this rod from St. Croix, but they gave me a discount, and I appreciate that because it allows me to get my hands on these a bit more expensive rods, okay, and to give them some really great detailed reviews, so I'm very grateful for that. I bought this rod because I wanted a drop shot rod. I like the longer drop shot rods, 7'3", and with a medium light extra fast. I have one in the Legend tournament, and I really like it a lot. And when I use it on this Revo rocket, the 7.2 to 1 or something, so high speed. And the reason I like this high speed reel and a bit longer rod is because here in the West, we're fishing clear water, and often we're fishing 50 feet out and 35 feet down, 25 feet down. So I want a reel I can take up line fast, and I want a longer rod that I can also move more line as I pull on it, okay? The Legend tournament version of this I really like a lot. It really suits me quite well because I love the action. I'm going to talk about the action here in a minute, but first let me go over this particular rod. It's the Legend X2, and it uses the new SC7 Carbon from St. Croix, and the interesting part about that carbon is it uses some graphene in it. Graphene's been around a while. It's the first time St. Croix has used it in a line, and what's interesting about graphene is you can make sheets of graphene, which is graphite, which is carbon, one molecule thick, because the way the molecules line up in a lattice, it makes it super strong. So graphene on its own is stronger than steel and has a higher tensile strength than diamonds. However they measure that, but that's the way it is. So that gives you a much lighter material, much stronger material, and of course, because it's carbon, it gives you more sensitivity. So this rod has that built into this carbon. Something else that's new is the veil technology, which is a layer, probably on the outside, I think it's on the outside, and it's made of a little bit of fiberglass, some carbon, and a new resin. And the purpose of that is to prevent nicks and dings to get into the carbon. It helps create a stronger surface so that nicks and dings, when you hit them with your lead weights, things like that, or whatever that might happen, throw your pliers down on them, that you don't ding it, weakening the rod where that ding is. So it's a new material that helps with the strength or the integrity of the rod blank, something that probably many of us will really appreciate. They use titanium guides with Torzite rings. Titanium is light and very malleable and flexible, so goodness, if you step on one by accident, you probably won't bend it. And the Torzite are, of course, harder, smoother, and so that's really important. The high-end stuff, a lot of the cost of this rod is in the rod guides, okay? So keep that in mind. Reel seat is full 100% carbon. It's made by St. Croix, or made for St. Croix, that allows the transmission of sensitivity through the rod into your hand, into your handle. It's really quite interesting. The rod has a lock nut that is machined aluminum. You can see it's got some silver looking like aluminum. It's got some dark paint probably on it. And it fits the scheme of this rod quite well. And of course it has the Trigon cork handles. This is pretty interesting because I've tried Trigon handles in the physics, and they're hard carbon handles. I wasn't sure about them. You get used to them, but I'm not sure. But when I pick up this rod with this cork Trigon, I love it because it turns out I like cork a lot, okay? So that's what I got here. It's split handle. It has a trigger. I could do with or without this trigger, frankly. When I make a cast with this particular rod, that it feels really comfortable, that Trigon at the base. So when I make a longer cast, it just feels nice. Again, the cork is really key for me. Now let me talk about the action of this rod. I have this rod, as I mentioned, in Legend tournament, and I would I think when I reviewed that rod, I said it was, you know, medium light, extra fast. I think I might have mentioned that I felt it was medium light, extra fast, meaning it was a little heavier on the action side, the power side, I should say, a little heavier. So it wasn't quite medium light, it's like a little bit more heavy. And I really liked that. That really suited me well. It allowed me to get a hook set, reel setting into those fish much nicer than this particular rod. So I'm gonna explain in a minute here. This rod, it's probably more like medium light, if I was to compare it, okay? I'm not sure it's to my likings just yet. I'm gonna keep fishing with it, but I think that if you're a Western angler and you're fishing super deep, clear water, and you gotta go down to 6-pound tests, some people talk about using 5-pound test line, I think this rod would really excel because the action and power of this rod is gonna give you a little bit more leniency for your throwing that really light line. I almost bought their 7.3 medium extra fast, and I think after fishing with this one that one would probably suit me better. That medium power would be more like what I'm used to in the Legend tournament. The downside, in the Legend tournament, I have a medium extra fast, and I don't think there's a rod in their line that would meet that power and action, which I also like, because I throw really big baits with that particular rod. So I'm unsure of why this rod has a lighter feeling power. Not sure about that, but that's the way it is. Something to remember. And so why does that matter to me? What's the consequences? From the way I'm used to fishing the Legend tournament is I pull up and I know there's a fish, and I can pull and reel set, right? And I catch most of my fish doing that because I'm drop shotting, I'm letting it sink to the bottom, I'm giving it slack, and when I lift up there's a fish on. And so what I want to be able to do is take up as much line as I can. So as I swing, that rod, this rod is just giving a bit more, and that means I have to pull back harder and I have to reel even faster. That's why I certainly am going to go to this high-speed reel in this particular setup, hoping that will change my configuration. I was using a 6-2-to-1 reel on it, and so it just didn't feel right. Now, I caught fish with it, but I just have to get used to it if it's worth it. What's interesting though, this rod tip is just so light. I picked this up and I kept thinking to myself, did I get the 610? And I keep looking, no, it's 7.3. And I compared it, like, no, it's the 7.3. And this 7.3 rod tip feels like the 610 Legend tournament. This rod is super light. I love it. I just wish it had a little bit more backbone. Again, maybe that's what the medium one will do for me. So one of the big misses on this rod is there's no bait keepers. Now, I understand that St. Croix went a whole beta process for a year, and they got feedback from anglers, but as far as I'm concerned, they got bad feedback. There's no question about that. I don't understand why people don't like bait keepers. Now, there can be, like, I don't like bait keepers in the back here. I don't, on the spinning rods. I like them here no matter what. What they did with physics, by the way, is they had one here and they had one there. They sort of did both. I'm like, okay, that adds cost to this rod. I understand that, and it adds labor, but at least they have a solution that probably suited almost everybody. I don't know why they didn't do it. If they were talking to me, I would have said, you better put one on there. So I think it's a big miss. Like what I'm gonna do is I have some broken rods. I'm gonna take those off. I have a rod guy add them for me on this rod. And it seems kind of ridiculous to do that because this is a $600+ rod. Okay, so that's a miss. I hope St. Croix resolves it. Maybe they can do something with a new design, a new gadget that works really, really well. I don't know, but I think they should have made that change. But let's go to the wall and let's watch me bend it, and I'll comment some more about, as I bend the rod, what I think about this particular rod. This rod is super light in my hands. And there's a number of times when I was fishing with it, I go, what length is? I kept looking at the length when I got it new because I didn't feel like a 7'3" rod to me that I was used to in the Legend tournament. So notice and keep in mind that this is very, very light rod. The handle feels real good. I'm holding it with a split grip here, as you can see, and my thumb and fingers are holding up here. Sometimes if I want to, I'll put 3 fingers and I'll hold on to it, and that feels pretty nice. Anyway, so let's give this a bend. So let's put a little load on this, and you can see right away that it's bending in the tip very far up there, which is an extra fast tip, but I'm not putting much power into this rod. It is medium light power, but honestly, I fished with this and it feels like a medium light power. Here I am, I'm not putting a whole lot of power into this rod, and it's bending pretty well here. Here I'm putting a bit more pressure, and you can now see how it's bending. Still, a lot of the bending is still in the front third now as I put a lot more power, but I'm not putting a lot of power on this rod right now. It's not really much power. I barely feel like I might be fighting a two pounder. If I get a good fish on there, you can see the bend. That medium light action is definitely showing up. And so there you have it. That's what it feels like. That rod is bending nice. The way I see it, this rod is probably going to be useful if you really like light line. I'm talking, 6 pound, 5 pound line on the end. You're fishing super clear water. That feels to me like maybe that's where this rod will really shine. So I just gave you a rough overview of some of the technologies in the handle, but let's do a deep dive. I mean, this is the gory, very deep dive about this particular rod and all its technologies. So please, let's watch that right now.
This is a St. Croix Legend X2 7-foot 3-inch medium light extra fast spinning. The rod specifications are as follows. The model is LXTS73 MLXF, and the price is $625. The rod material is SC7 carbon fiber with graphene. The length is 7'3" and it weighs 3.88 ounces. The power is medium light. Action is extra fast. Line weight is from 6 pounds to 20 pounds, and the lure weight is 1/16 to 3/8.
It has a split grip Trigon handle. The rod seat is carbon fiber and the seat lock is machined aluminum. There are 9 titanium frame guides with Fuji Torzite rings. St. Croix Rod Technologies. St. Croix employs advanced technologies in their fishing rods, including the following. SC7 Carbon Fiber with Graphene. This is the most advanced rod material in St. Croix's lineup. It's the lightest, strongest, and most sensitive material available in the fishing industry. Graphene is stronger than steel and has higher tensile strength than diamonds. IPC, Integrated Polycurve. This computer-aided design and tooling technology enables the design of specific power and action combinations. Polycurve. This stands for polynomial curve used in CAD design packages to create smooth curves between control points. This eliminates abrupt rod blank transitions, resulting in stronger rods. ART, Advanced Reinforcing Technology. This is a special carbon fiber material that, when strategically placed on a rod blank, provides 10 times the strength without adding weight, as claimed by St. Croix. Its purpose is to improve the hoop strength and prevent the blank from deforming under severe load. FRS, Fortified Resin System. This is a combination of a super resin and computer-controlled curing ovens that ensures the fibers are properly aligned. St. Croix claims that this process makes the rods 33% stronger. TET, Taper Enhancement Technology. This process involves cutting curved blank patterns based upon computer designs that are combined with IPC mandrels. This creates blanks with better actions and improved sensitivity. Trigon Technology. The Trigon handle design redefines comfort and control. Its curved triangular profile with a rounded top apex naturally aligns your hand with the blank, giving you unmatched connection and feel. The flattened top adds all-day comfort, reducing fatigue and keeping you focused on every cast. The result? A handle that feels custom fit to your hand, so you can fish longer, cast with precision, and stay in complete control of your power and accuracy. Veil Technology. Veil is an exclusive blend of carbon fiber, fiberglass, and advanced resin that works together to protect the rod from external impacts. This unique fusion dramatically strengthens the blank, helping it withstand the hits and bumps that come from lead weights, rocks, or any hard surface without sacrificing sensitivity or performance. The utilization of these technologies has resulted in rods that are lighter, cast more effectively, and exhibit enhanced sensitivity and strength. Warranty. Notably, St. Croix offers a 15-year warranty on Legend X2 products. Currently, the warranty replacement policy entails a $60 fee. The process is straightforward. Customers must take photographs of the rod model and serial number, as well as a photograph of the brake. Then they complete an online warranty claim and upload the photographs. A St. Croix customer service representative will then contact the customer to facilitate the $60 payment. Additionally, one of the reasons I chose St. Croix is that its Legend X2 rods are manufactured in America, specifically in Wisconsin. I am committed to supporting American businesses whenever possible. Now that we're back, let me just do a final discussion here. This rod is super light. I mentioned that the rod tip is so light, I think the rod is 4 or 5 inches shorter. That's incredible. The cork handle is great to hold on to and use. The power in action is a little light for me, and either I'm going to get used to it or I'm not, and I'm going to, sell this rod and probably want to buy the medium powered one with the extra fast tip. Look into that. That might get me what I want. So, but I'm not just going to make a rash decision, but I will say though that that's one of the things that this particular rod I'm not so satisfied about. I love the lightness of the rod. I love the tip weight. It's just the power and action is just not quite suitable for me. But it might be for you if you're a Western angler and you're out there in the deep water and clear water and doing all that. I'm going to mostly use this for drop shot. So this will be my, I always, in Arizona here, we just keep a drop shot hooked up all the time. So that's what I'm going to have on this. So if this rod will work excellent for me for drop shot, it's going to be awesome. Hopefully I explained this well enough that you can make your own judgments if you should buy this rod and if this rod is going to be valuable to you. That's what I'm after here, so I appreciate that. Anyway, thanks for watching the channel. Be free out there. We're Americans. We deserve to be free.